Good evening. Welcome to Current Affairs. Today we'll be discussing a few issues. The first one is related to Kulbhushan Jadhav. So you know who exactly this person is. He's a former Indian Navy officer and he was caught and he was branded as a spy and he's a spy on behalf of RA, Research and Analysis Wing. So these are the accusations and allegations made by Pakistan, and the Pakistan's military court has given death sentence to him, and it has been pronounced at any time. So he may be given the death sentence. So during the time, so India tried its best to rescue Kulbhushan Jadhav, and Pakistan has refused to listen to all this. And finally, so India went for a very strategic step, and in fact a big step, and India moved International Court of Justice. And India's arguments were heard by ICJ in the form of Mr. Harish Salve. And Harish Salve, as I told you in the earlier class, he is the former Solicitor General of India, and right now he is one of the senior Supreme Court judges. So it was heard, and it has ICJ, International Court of Justice, has given instructions to Pakistan that are not to hang Kulbhushan Jadhav till further orders are released. So meaning is simple, India moved one step closer to the victory. So India is trying its best. This is how the nation will take care of its citizens. Meaning some other country just like that, this you can try and you can kill a person. It's not allowed. And the biggest problem is that, so with respect to Kulbhushan Jadhav, so no counsel was provided to him, and family members were not permitted to meet him, and Indian diplomats were also not permitted to meet him. So this is nothing but the violation of the human rights. And everything was heard by ICJ very clearly, and it issued the order that till further orders, nothing should happen to Kulbhushan Jadhav. So as of now, he is safe, and hopefully he will be safe. And finally, ICJ will be issuing the order to Pakistan to release him, and hopefully our Kulbhushan Jadhav will come back to India very safely. So this is how the issues that are related where two countries will come into picture, right? Bilaterally, if you cannot solve this, if it is coming under the purview of the jurisdiction of ICJ, so then obviously you can challenge it, and India is going to win this particular one, and we have moved one step ahead. So this is with respect to Kulbhushan Jadhav. So now what I'll do is that I'll be showing two questions now. I'll be showing two questions, and probably, so these will be the questions maybe in any forthcoming examination, including our civil services examination, which is going to be conducted next month. First, I'll show you the question. Please look at the question. Read the question first, not the options. Right? Read the question first and try to understand the question. Then you look for the options. Then try to come to a conclusion. So this is how you need to practice. Clear? Let me open the document. Look at this. Which of the following statements is or correct with respect to Maternity Benefit Amendment Act? So obviously, so by looking at this question, you understood that. So this is a particular question that is related to the recently amended Maternity Benefit Amendment Act. All right. So obviously, so whenever certain acts are made and orders are issued with respect to the welfare of the woman or any weaker section of the society, so those things are very important, and that shows the commitment on the part of the government to take care of welfare of those sections. And this particular one is already there in India. So, but this act has been amended to give more benefits to women. Meaning, so these are the people so who are expecting mothers and who delivered the babies. right? So what exactly is that? So what are the benefits? Let's try to see. So three options are given, and you need to look at all the three statements and then come to a conclusion. One, two, three. Please read one, two, three very carefully. The act extended the maternity leave period from 12 to 26 weeks. Yes, answer is yes. However, a woman with two or more children, a woman with two or more children will be entitled to 12 week of maternity leave. This is important. Very, very, very important. There is no doubt that the maternity leave period has been extended from 12 weeks to 26 weeks. This is a very, very good sign. But on the other hand, this is not for all the women. If the woman has already two or more than two children, they will be entitled only for 12 weeks. Only for 12 weeks of maternity leave and not for 26 weeks. Hope you understood the difference. So these are the points that are very, very important for civil service examination. You have to have the clarity, right? Next, statement number two. An employer may permit a woman to work from home. An employer may permit a woman to work from home if the nature of work assigned permits her to do so. This may be mutually agreed upon by the employer and the woman. And the woman. So, what do you mean by this? So, there are so many women there who are working, and they are very much entitled for this maternity benefit act provisions. And before this delivery, before this delivery and after the delivery, you are entitled for this particular, this number of weeks. And again, even after that, they may be permitted to work from home if the nature of the work permits. But who decides this? The decision can be taken by the employer and the woman employee, right? And that is the reason why there is no specific period how long the woman is permitted to work from home. That can be decided mutually by employer and the woman employee. Even statement number two is also correct. Clear? So obviously, so this is what is expected is that mother is expected to spend more time so with the newborns, right? So you need to take care of the baby, you need to feed the baby frequently, and instead of going for this some other milk, it is always better for the infant to give the mother milk, right? So that is the reason why even the doctors also suggest that as long as possible, as far as possible, you continue feeding, you continue to go for the breastfeeding of for the babies. So this is a very, very important one. Hence all these measures are being taken place. So this is really a wonderful one. Definitely this is going to be helpful to both mother and the infant. So statement number one is right, statement number two is also right. Once again, look at the document. Statement number three. The Act requires every establishment. The Act requires every establishment with 50 or more employees to provide for creche facilities with a prescribed distance. And the woman will be allowed 4 visits to the creche in a day. Very, very important. In any organization where you have 50 or more employees, you have to establish a creche, and where mother can leave her child, and the child will be taken care by the people who are present over there. And at the same time, so you cannot keep this creche at a very, very long distance. So that should be in a prescribed distance itself. And the woman should be allowed to visit the creche at least 4 times every day, so that you can go frequently, so you can feed the baby and you can take care of the baby, and again you can come back to the work, right? Now, statement number three is also right. So obviously now you look at the options. 192, 283, 193, 123, 123. All the statements are right. If you want, you can read all the statements once again. All the statements are right. Okay. Option D is the answer, meaning all the statements are right. So hope you have a clarity on this. Now, look at this. I have another question for you. Please look at the question. Which of the following statements is or true regarding payments banks? So you might have read in the newspapers very recently the e-wallet, that is Paytm. Paytm has been given the permission to convert itself to payments bank. What exactly is this payments bank? And of course, Airtel is the first payments bank in India. And now Paytm is also there, and India Post is also there. So payments bank. So what exactly is this? So this is the very latest concept. So the concept has come out in the year 2015, and later RBI has made so many guidelines for this. And in this scenario, the first payments bank in India is the Airtel, right? So you must be knowing about this. So and very recently, Paytm has also been given the permission. So, but we need not worry about the Paytm operations. So we all got very habituated to this Paytm, and you might have already got some money in the wallet, Paytm wallet. So now some people may be worried, what happens to our money that is already present with the Paytm if the Paytm is transformed into payments bank? Nothing will happen. Now payments bank. The payments bank is a larger one. Under that, again, you have the Paytm concept is there. So hence there is nothing to worry. So, but this is the recent phenomenon where for the establishment of the payments bank, so you require at least 100 crores. The minimum requirement is 100 crores. But unlike the general banks, so these banks cannot accept the deposits more than 1 lakh. More than 1 lakh deposits will not be accepted by the this payments banks. That is number one. Number two, if you want to increase the deposits later, that can be done. But at a time, more than 1 lakh is not permitted. Just like any other bank, these banks will also be issuing the debit cards, checkbooks, everything, right? And net banking is also, that facility is also there. But one thing you have to remember, payments banks cannot issue credit cards, right? Other cards, if you look at other banks like ICICI, Axis Bank, SBI, all these banks, they can issue the credit cards. So but with respect to the payments banks, so they are not supposed to issue the credit cards. You have to remember, remaining things are permitted. Debit card is permitted, credit card is not permitted, right? You have to listen to me very carefully, my dear friends, right? So you have to listen and you have to remember these points, because these will be the questions in the examination, and you have to be very specific and you should have the clarity, then you can answer the questions. Clear? And another important thing, meaning condition with respect to the establishment of the payments bank, is that at least 25% of your branches, at least 25% of your branches should be established in non-bank areas. Meaning, wherever you don't have the banking facilities in the rural areas, in those areas, you have to establish at least 25% of your banks. So these are the conditions. These are the conditions and guidelines that are issued by the so-called RBI. And every payments bank must be following these conditions. Otherwise, the license will be cancelled. Am I clear? So now regarding that payments bank, I have a question and I'll show you the question and I'll show you the statements. Please read the statements very carefully. Try to understand each statement and then look for the options. Go for the correct answer. Right. Please have a look at this. Temperatures are increasing like anything. Take very good care. Don't get yourself exposed to too much of sunlight. It's very, very, very dangerous, and you need to protect yourself. And in order to achieve any service, in order to achieve any service, in order to provide or deliver quality work, you have to be healthy first. That is the reason why you please take very good care of your health. Whatever may be the season, health is important. Now, look at this. So, which of the following statements are true regarding payments banks? The minimum capital requirement is 100 crores. Kindly see here. If you look at the options, choose the correct answer. In 1, 2, 3, 4, obviously only two statements are right. Only two statements are right and the remaining two statements are wrong. Fine. So if you can look at this, choose the correct answer. By looking at that, you will be able to understand that two statements are right and two are wrong. Then your job is half done. Now, read the statements. The minimum capital requirement is rupees 100 crores. Just now I told you, obviously it is yes. So wherever you find A, it should be the answers. So A you can see in option number 1 and option number 4. Am I clear? So this is how you have to look at the question and you have to look at the answers. And obviously what happens if you look at option A and B, and option number 4 is A and D. Meaning you can just forget about option C, because since you are very clear that A is right, so along with A, either it should be B or it should be D. So if you don't read C also, no problem, because you need to pick up only two. If you don't read C also, no problem, you can save some time, but you have to read B and you have to read D. Is it okay? Right. And if you look at statement number B, foreign shareholding is not permitted in these banks. Foreign shareholding is not, 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 you have to be very careful while reading this. Not permitted in these banks is wrong. Meaning this statement is wrong, because foreign shareholding is very much permitted in the payments banks. Just like any other banks, foreign shareholding is also permitted in the payments bank. Am I clear? Next, another point, so meaning option B is wrong. Once you know option B is wrong, and already you have decided not to read C because you have the clarity, then what should be the answer? Directly you can jump onto option number 4, meaning A and D should be the correct answer. So hence, so this is how you can save some time. Right, in the examination, so you should not come under pressure. So you have to you should be able to use the time very effectively, properly, very intelligently, and very cleverly. And of course, this is not so easy job. It comes over a period of time. Once you start practicing various type of questions, then you will get this strategy, and you can implement the same strategy in the examination. So that is the reason why I always tell you to look at the previous year papers. Whatever maybe the examination you are writing, maybe civil services, maybe group 1, group 2, SSC, RRB, you have to look at the previous year papers so that you will understand what type of questions are coming up. So once you read, come on, open the question papers and try to solve it. And while solving that one, you adapt these strategies. So in this question, what happened? We know that 4 statements are given. Out of 4 statements, you have been asked to pick up the 2 statements only. So meaning 2 statements are right and remaining 2 statements are wrong. So once you read statement number A, you came to a conclusion statement A is right. And A is associated with B and A is associated with D. So meaning either B or D is the correct answers. So you can leave C. You need not read at all. You need not read C because you are very sure that the statement A is right. Then go to B, and by reading B, you understood that B is wrong. Then tell me, is there any necessity to read option D? Definitely not. Directly you can jump to option 4 and you can mark option 4 is the answer. Hope you are getting me. This is how you have to do it. Please practice like this. So these are the techniques that you need to adopt. Clear? This will be possible. These are all the things are possible, when you have the clarity. That is the reason why, since you're all my close friends, be very much committed for whatever the examination that you are writing, right? And prepare very, very well. And what are all the things that I'm teaching you, it is not just for listening, right? But you have to implement. you have to implement, right? So maybe sometimes I also tell you, like, something like Swachh Bharat, like our Swachh Ghar and all these things. So those things we need to implement. So by looking at us, our friends, our relatives, they also may get motivated. And if out of so many people, if one or two families are also following this one, that's good for the nation, right? Now, so if you want to read the statement, you can read it. Since you are practicing now, you can read it. So foreign shareholding is not permitted in these banks is wrong, because foreign shareholding is very much permitted in payments banks. Right? B is wrong. C, right? You can just read this. They can issue services like net banking. Yes, agreed. They can issue debit cards. Yes, they can issue debit cards. Credit cards. I told you just now, they cannot issue credit cards. But with respect to mobile banking, very much permitted. So net banking is permitted, debit cards permitted, mobile banking is permitted, but not credit cards. Clear? So B and C are wrong, and you can straight away go to D. These banks accept deposits up to rupees 1 lakh. So obviously option A and option D, the statement A and statement D are right. So option 4 is the answer. That's, so I should make it, 4. That's it. Hope you got it. And I have some more points here. Have a look at this. Look at this. Note, foreign shareholding is permitted in these banks. They cannot issue services like credit cards. Please remember this. 25% of its branches must be located in unbanked rural areas, wherever the banks are not there. In the rural areas, there you have to establish at least how much percentage? 25% of your branches must be located there. Number 4, the bank must use the term payments bank in its name to differentiate it from other types of banks. Simple one. So at the end, it has to use the words payments bank. And latest one, Paytm is permitted to launch payments bank, and the current services of Paytm are merged into the new bank. Look at this. Option 6, point number 6. Please read very carefully. Very, 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 very important point. Formation of the payments bank was recommended by a committee called Committee on Comprehensive Financial Services for Small Business and Low Income Households. And this committee was headed by Nachket More Committee. Nachket More, and this is also called Nachket More Committee. Very important one. They may ask you in the examination, which committee recommended for the creation of a payments bank? Answer is the Nachket More Committee, right? In fact, the name of the committee is Committee on Comprehensive Financial Services for Small Business and Low Income Households. And because Nachket More is the chairman for this committee is also called Nachket Committee. So please remember these points. So these are important for the examination. Right? And so now the time is 12:08. So we are in the early hours of May 19th. And so many viewers are there. I really appreciate you all for working like this. So because of some reason, so I got delete for today's current affairs. And I really appreciate your efforts, your commitment towards the work. And if you continue to work like this, definitely within a very short period of time, you are going to hit the success, and you are going to get the service that you are deserving first. My continuous support will be always there, and I wish you all a very, 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 very good luck. Thank you so much. Please go to sleep now and sleep well, and you need to take rest also well. Apart from this reading, apart from your food habits, you should also have a good sleeping time too, right? And take very good care, and I'll see you in the next class. Thank you so much.